my Allan's Answers podcast, episode number 5, I think. And this is another daily episode. And so I got 3 questions from Yahoo Answers Philosophy that I got lined up for you guys. So the first one comes from Kiara E. And she asks, ever feel like you were born in the wrong time and place? And I would say that I personally don't think so, because the reason I picked this question is because I like to talk about the environment, and I feel like it's such an influential factor in what a human's capabilities are, because your environment kind of sets up the limiting factors in one's life, like the opportunities that you have, the resources available to you, and just a whole wide range of factors that basically guide you down your path of life, So like a person born into a rich family has more opportunities and can do more because their environment allows it, rather than a poor family that their environment inhibits growth and improvement and things like that. So I feel like I love my environment, but another thing that I wanted to talk about was when she talks about time. Place, I'm pretty sure I was born in one of the best places, the United States of America, USA, but time period, I always get that, I don't know if you guys think about this, but I always get the feeling like, oh, well, what if I was born, like 20 years later? I wonder what kind of cool technology would be available to me, And I realized that, like, if I was in my grandparents' shoes looking at the present today, and if they were thinking about it back then, I would definitely not want to live in the time that they were. But I guess it's just the point where it's just a time period, and technology will always improve, and it'll always be better than how it started when you were born, So I guess it's just kind of a crapshoot if you get in a good time, or if there's good technology being created the time period that you were born in, But I feel like the 90s was a great time period to be born in, because in the late 90s, as we started to become, comprehend our environment in a way, the internet was booming. Technology was just going off the hook. It was amazing, and now we have the ability to do anything that we want, like the podcast that I'm doing right now. So that's my views on that question, so hopefully we answered that. And then Elizabeth asks, do you make automatic judgments when you meet someone? And I would have to say that this is true for anybody. Of course, everybody makes automatic judgments, even though they may not realize it, because it's just human nature to, like the stereotypes I was talking about yesterday. It's just, there's this one thing, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember the exact number, but it's like at least 7 impressions, or the 7 characteristics that somebody basically guesses and incorporates with a person when they see a first impression of them, So like how they dress is a determination of a characteristic of theirs, that people automatically just judge and assume it's true just because they saw them for the first time, And those prejudices can be terrible, just like stereotypes, because they limit what in your mind a person is capable of. And so I feel like that it's not always a good thing, but it can be a good thing if the automatic judgments are like, wow, this person's really cool, I want to be friends with them, then that is a positive influence and factor in someone's life. But it's not always great, but unfortunately that's just human nature, so we have to make the best of it. So hopefully that answers your question, Elizabeth. And then Sequana, I believe, asked the question, what emotion would you say is the most stressful in the human mind? And I would have to say that the most stressful, stress comes in 2 ways. There's stress, you always have stress. Stress is basically your response to stimulus from your environment. So like everything that happens to you comes with a response from yourself, even if it's subconscious, And so stress is basically positive. We use stress just in general to talk about being bogged down with so much work, but stress is actually can be construed as positive influences on your life, while distress is the negative parts that can affect your lives, like tiredness, anger, stuff like that. So I would have to say that the most stressful emotions would have to be the ones that are on the most extremes, like intense joy and intense hatred and despair and things like that, So of course I feel like that happiness, when it's in its extremes, can be amazing, and it can be stressful at the same time, because you just can't bottle all your emotions inside of you, but I feel like the most stressful would have to be the ones that are the most traumatic, are the ones that leave a lasting impression on you personally. And unfortunately, that the most lasting impressions can be the ones that negatively impacted your life. But that's not always true. Like, if somebody dies that you know, then that can be a very traumatic experience, and that sadness and despair, that is very stressful on the human mind. But there's also a bright side to it, where intense happiness and joy and inspiration can also leave the greatest lasting impression on you, that can motivate you to do whatever you want to accomplish in life. So it's two ways to look at it, but I think that just in general, the most extreme and intense emotions are the ones that are going to be the most stressful. When I say stressful, they leave the greatest impression on you. So it can be good or bad depending on how you look at it. So hopefully that answered your question. And that's it for this episode of Allan's Answers, and I hope you've enjoyed the daily fun-sized philosophy posts that I've been doing. I posted one today about pieces of a whole, like the different components in a full plan or a full just entity. And then I'm just going to keep chugging along. Hopefully I'll have time to do this. We'll see when I can't do it every single day, but hopefully that won't be for a while. So keep looking forward for this, and we will see you next time. Bye.